Hello, is this thing working? Okay. Hey man, I can see the back of my head. Okay, I've never had this set up before. I'm in a bathroom. I don't know if you guys can hear me better or not. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay. This is Jay Medicine. You know, logging in, like, when's the last time I made a video? Last time I made a video was like, I don't know, Andrew Jackson was president, man. Oregon Trail, World War II, long time ago. So this video has literally zero things to do with medicine, completely irrelevant, but it was a highly requested video, and it's my beard. It's how do I maintain my beard? How do you get your beard to look good? So let's do it, man. I need a beard refresh. I got a little shindig I gotta go to tomorrow, so I'm trying to look kind of cute. Med school's going great, by the way, thanks for asking. But yeah, let's get to it. So to maintain your beard, step one is just be born with great genes and wait till you're old. No, actually, I'm not really joking, but like I'm kind of joking. But as a general rule, something that actually might help you is the less thick your beard is, the more trim you should keep it. So if your beard gets kind of patchy when you grow it out, the way to make it look less patchy is to trim it down a little bit. So me, I have like a decently thick beard, but it's getting long now, and you know, you can start to see like a little bit of patching, like here. I don't know if the camera's catching it or not, but the thicker it gets, the more those patches become prominent. Someone like James Harden, who's got like the thickest beard of all time, you know, he travels a lot, but he has a thick beard, and when he grows it out, you don't see those patches. So he can grow it till infinity, doesn't have to trim it. There's no patches, there's no like skin peeping through. It's not like, you know, it's just black. But for someone like me, if I let it get too long, you can start to see those patches, so I gotta trim it down. So 3 main stages of trimming the beard. Step 1 is to trim it with the clippers. Take the clippers, you put a guard on, you trim it down, get the beard down to like a good level. Step 2 is to take a trimmer, goes down to the skin, and you gotta line it up. So go, you know, along the outside, the edges, and make it look nice and clean. And then the last finishing step, you don't really have to do this, but I like doing this because it makes it look just that a little extra bit clean, is a straight razor. And this thing is nice, kind of looks like a scalpel, and I like using it. So, all right, let's get to this. Yo, I hate wires. They gotta make Bluetooth for like, I'm just not even gonna say that. By the way, I know you guys can see yourselves in the mirror. I couldn't find a better angle. I'm coming in right now, like right here. Y'all can see the back of my head. All right, step number 1, you take the clippers, you take a number 1 guard. Okay, this is, I don't know if you can focus, but this is a number 1 guard. Now, what guard you use depends on what kind of beard you want, how much you want to trim it down. Right now, the sides of my head are kind of long, so I like keeping this part a little bit longer. If I had a fade like I did before, I would probably trim it down a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter what you start with. The main point is, up here, the guard has to be a little bit lower, so if I use a number 1 guard here, trims it down, when I come down to this part of my face, I gotta go to like a number 3 guard. You wanna have like a nice little gradient that goes low, and then it kind of just goes out, and that gives you that like nice shape. So I'm gonna start with the 1 guard. I'm gonna open it up. So that's almost like a 1.5 guard, and that's what I'm gonna start up with here. That's a weird noise, man. You're making weird noises, bro. Hopefully I don't get electrocuted. Let's do this. You don't want to push down too much on your skin, because then you'll get like really weird levels. You just want to like lightly just go over the beard the way it would be just normally. Like if my face is just sitting like this, I don't want to push down on the skin, because then that changes the shape of my face from what it is normally, and then my beard ends up looking weird. So just lightly just go over it. Yeah, we'll do the same thing on the other side. But yeah, I did the 1 guard open here and here. So now we're gonna move on to the 1.5 guard. 1.5 guard here. So we're getting a little thicker. You know what I said, that gradient, you gotta, you know, slowly work your way up. So this is the 1.5 guard closed. By the way, whoa. When it comes to like going against the grain versus with the grain, I usually go against the grain just because it makes all the hairs even. Some people like going with the grain. If you go with the grain, the difference is if you have a thin beard and a patchy beard, going with the grain will, what up? Man, what was I saying? Anyways, if you go with the grain, it'll help with the people that have like a little bit more patching, because then you don't cut some of the hairs that are like in those patches. So with the grain, if you have a lot of patches, if your beard's a little bit on the thicker side, just go against the grain. So I did the 1.5 guard down here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the number 2 guard. Okay, so we're getting thicker again. And I'm gonna take it all the way down to the goatee. Numero 2, we're gonna take it. Under like the neck beard, I like to go a 2 all across. Okay, so I did the number 2 guard. What I'm gonna do is, there's a little bit of a rough transition between the 1.5 and the 2. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the 1.5 guard, but I'm not gonna do it closed, I'm gonna do it open, which is gonna make it a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna just do that right at the line between the 1.5 and the 2, so it's a better transition. I'm pretty much fading my beard, so. By the way, I have to take an exam. I should have taken it today, but I decided to make a YouTube video instead, so I'll just take it tomorrow. Yeah. All right, let's get a recap, man. All right, so we did 1 open, 1.5, 1.5 open, 2, and we're at the goatee now. So what I'm gonna do with the goatee is I'm gonna take the number 2, I'm gonna open it up. So again, it's just like getting thick, just that gradient, you know? And I'm just gonna flick into the goatee, because the goatee is gonna end up being 3 or maybe a 3.5, depending on what I feel like. But I'm gonna have to transition into it. So I'm gonna take the 2, open it up, and flick it out. And for me, I actually keep my mustache at a 2 open as well, because I like my mustache being not super thick. So I'm gonna do that. All right, now the last part left is, at least for the trimming, is the goatee. I think I'm gonna do a 3 guard open. So this is a 3 guard. I'm gonna put it on the trimmers and 3 guard open. Go at the goatee. All right, so the trimming is done. I trimmed it down. Now do you guys see how it looks a little bit less patchy when I trimmed it down? It's kind of counterintuitive. The more you trim your beard down, the less easy it is to see patches if you have any. Now we're gonna take out the trimmers. I'm pretty sure I've been calling everything a trimmer, but that was a clipper. This is a trimmer, so this goes pretty much, it just gives you skin. It's almost like a razor. Wait, let me tell you what I'm using. So this is the Wall Elite clipper, and this is the Andes T outliner. What I'm doing now, this is stage 2, is I'm going around the edges of the beard and just lining everything up. Just making sure it's clean. The neckline is just straight line right here. By the way, when you're doing this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have a mirror that comes out and it makes it a lot easier for me to see everything. So if you guys have some kind of mirror like that, use it. But yeah, let's start trimming. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm pretty much getting this line right here. All right, now the final thing I'm gonna do is go under my mustache and just make a line right under my mustache. Let me zoom in actually, I don't know. You gotta have a little bit of just like, you gotta relax yourself so you're not shaking. You gotta get those surgeon hands. I just realized I'm death staring into the mirror right now. Now, one other thing that I also like doing is I take the trimmers, and around my goatee, there's kind of like a weird transition between the beard and the goatee. And I kind of like to take the trimmer and make a straight line just all the way. So a straight line going like this, and then another straight line just under the goatee, so it's not rounded, because it looks kind of weird when it's rounded. I look like my head is a mushroom. So I'm just gonna straighten that out, and then a straight line on this side. I'm posing like a flamingo. That looks pretty trimmed to me. All right, last but not least, this is the cherry. Let me zoom out. The icing on the cake. If you guys have not invested in a straight razor, please do so. So I've cut myself many of times with this razor. This razor and I have a love-hate relationship. I've had this razor since I was like 17. Now, the straight razor, for those of you freaking out, you can change out the blade, right? Obviously, so I haven't been using the same blade since I was 17. But yeah, so I've gotten to know this thing, and you become very close with your straight razor. And when life becomes wavy and confusing, straight razor straightens it out. Wink. So this is an old blade, so I'm gonna switch it out. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna take the blade out, put it somewhere sharps, put it somewhere safe. I'm gonna take a new blade. I use Derby Premium. For no specific reason, I've only used 2 different kinds of blades, and this one had a 50-50 shot of being better than the first one, and it was. So I use these now. Derby Premium. All right, I'm putting this bad boy in. This feels like I'm in anatomy lab right now, just like incising everything. All right. I don't know why I just grabbed this for no reason. Not that bad. Okay, also, when you're doing the straight razor, let me zoom in. When you're using a straight razor, please be careful. It's extremely easy to cut yourself with a straight razor. You gotta be light, you gotta be gentle, you gotta have the vision of a hawk and the hands of a human. Who has good hands? Humans, right? So what you wanna do is, when you're doing it, first of all, use like shaving cream. Personally, I just use hand soap because that's enough. Wet your face, put some hand soap on there so it's nice and slippery. And when you're doing it, what you want to do is pretend like your face is a balloon, okay? You want to razor your face, but you don't want to pop the balloon, because as soon as you pop the balloon, you start bleeding. The best way to do that is to stretch your skin out. So if you stretch your skin out like this, and then take the blade, and then just kind of go down. And it has to be at an angle that's like almost parallel to your skin, but not quite. If I were to give you a number, like 20 degrees, 30 degrees, but don't take a protractor to your face. That's way too much, and you're doing too much. Just take the straight razor and just straight razor your face. I'll show you what that's like. So I'm wetting my face with warm water. A lot of people say warm water opens up your pores. It doesn't. Warm water expands your skin, so it closes the pores. Cold water opens up your pores. Regardless though, that has nothing to do with anything, and I want warm water on my face because I like being comfortable in life. So I'm gonna take warm water, put it on my face. I'll take some hand soap, put a hand soap on my face. But yeah, hand soap usually works for me. Okay guys, if I bleed to death, tell my mama I love her. Let's go.
Thought I had her on lock, but the keys never fit. She just wants somebody pushing keys by the brick. I'm in the studio pushing keys, making hits. All she ever wanted was some keys to the whip. Like, keys to the whip. Keys to the whip. Keys to the whip.
Alright, so I got the sides. Now the last thing I'm gonna do is right on top of the mustache, just make a straight line. Are you good? Alright, let's try that one more time. Alright, I'm gonna get nice and low so you guys can see this. Pretty much just into my mustache, making a straight line. Okay, I hit my foot. Last thing you want to do is get some rubbing alcohol on your face, moisturize. Let's see how it came along. I hope you guys can see me. I'm a little blurry, but so we did one open here, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3.5 here, 2.5 here. We took the trimmer, trimmed all around. Then we took the straight razor down, made, I could have done better with the line, but clean line here, clean line on the mustache, And yeah, that's the end of my video. I don't know, man. Like, what do you guys want? I feel like I haven't. Was that a fulfilling video? That's just me doing my beard. I do that like every 3 or 4 days. But yeah, that's the end of the video. If you guys have any questions on how to do your beard, ladies, especially you, hit your boy up. I can answer your questions.